world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
It's talking about Tolkien, Ben.
It's talking about Tolkien, Nate.
The stairs to Cirith Ungol.
The stairs of Cirith Ungol.
Okay, fair enough. Here I was trying my best to pronounce it correctly for you, and you had to be all pedantic and shitty. So fine.
Prepositions matter. This is a book podcast. We need to use the English language correctly here.
Well, I'm using the Old English version here.
The Old English. Where two
Tolkien would have wanted this.
We're at meant of. The pronunciation has changed subtly. It's diphthong, vowel shift.
That's my name, Diphthong Vowel Shift.
You could do that. That could be your academic incarnation.
Academic name.
Diphthong vowel shift. Writer of ancient poetry. Yeah, so this is...
Damn, what chapter?
This is chapter 8 of book 4, which I think is just how I'm going to say it from now on. I'm going to stop trying to relate it. You should be following along with us. I make it very clear in the episode titles. I think you'll figure it out. I trust you guys.
We're not asking you to read much. A lot of these chapters are like 8 to 15 pages.
True.
This is probably one of the longer ones in a while, and it's still not very long. I think it was like 16 pages or something.
They enter the sort of valley containing Minas Morgul, and the stairs
The Morgul Vale.
Yeah. The stairs are right across the street from Minas Morgul. And
yeah, how do they not know about the stairs?
Yeah, they know about the stairs.
But they're not guarded on this side. Kind of.
I mean, you would have to walk past Minas Morgul, which, why would anyone do that? And then you would have to climb several hundred, if not 1,000 feet, almost vertically. And then you would have to get past the giant spider, and then you would have to get past several orc watchtowers.
There are watchtowers right on the other side.
Yeah, so
as they find out. They're like, Gollum, you remember how you said this pass wasn't watched? What are those towers over there?
I said it was the least watched.
The least watched. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to climb all the way down, go back to the Black Gate? You want to try that one? Shut up, Sam.
So we're going to get one thing out of the way right off the bat. This is a memorable scene from the movie. This is the one where Gollum sprinkles some crumbs on Sam's jacket, and that's enough for Frodo to be like, you hate the bread. You, who's been rationing the bread this whole time, my only friend in the world, the person who nearly drowned himself to come help me. You piece of shit. Go home, Sam. Gollum's the only one I can trust. That doesn't happen in the book.
It does not happen, because it would be stupid and make no sense.
It would make you kind of dislike Frodo, I think. And I don't think Peter Jackson liked Frodo. I think he actually hated the character of Frodo.
No, Frodo is just a loser baby in the movies.
Yeah.
They did him real dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, he really loved Smeagol for some reason. Wanted to elevate that portion of the story. And I don't know, I guess Peter Jackson, he really felt that every character needed to have an arc, and except Frodo. And
except for the main most important character, yeah.
I guess Sam has an arc, kind of, but really Smeagol also has an arc. Kind of, I don't like the way the movie handled basically the entire Frodo Sam part of the quest.
Yeah, I do like the movies less and less as I read it more.
Yeah, that's the effect I want.
It's
That's exactly what I wanted to do with this podcast. Is I wanted people.
I swear I remembered all that stupid bread bullshit from the book, but no. That was the movie retroactively tainting what I remembered.
And I think that's my main problem is Lord of the Rings is obviously my favorite book. I think that's pretty safe to say at this point. And the movies do a good job of making a lot of unapproachable material approachable and accessible and easier for a mainstream audience to digest. But
as we discussed, we don't want it to be approachable. This is our thing. You need to find your own thing. Get out.
It's fine for what it is. But I do think...
I think part of it also was, like, it was a marvel at the time to have all these big armies fighting. And now you see that, and, like, that's like every fucking Marvel movie ever now.
Well, I think, like, because the movies are so universally praised, and rightly so in many cases, the memory, a lot of people who come to it think they're getting a pretty good adaptation when they come to the movies, and they're getting pretty good movies. I don't know if they're getting pretty good adaptations. I guess it depends on how important preserving the original purpose of the story is to you considering it a good adaptation. I think a lot of the lessons Tolkien's trying to impart are kind of lost.
Frodo wrote this book, and then Tolkien translated it, and then later a guy was like, Frodo sounds like kind of a bitch. Let's make him a little baby bitch.
I'm also looking forward to Christopher Nolan's Odyssey.
Oh no.
Where Achilles looks like Batman or something.
No. Wait, Odyssey?
Yeah.
Achilles isn't even there.
No, you're right.
He's dead.
Who the fuck is the Batman looking guy? That can't be Odysseus.
Is it gonna make no sense? Is it gonna have several different layers? It's gonna go backwards through time, and
I don't know, but we have to talk about the Stairs of Cirith Ungol.
And it's gotta have a theme about fascism or something like that.
Look, if you want,
let's talk about.
If you want us to do opining about the Odyssey, we can do that later.
There you go.
But
maybe that's the next one. I don't know. Talking about Tolkien.
Talking about Tolkien.
Stairs of Cirith Ungol.
Cirith Ungol. Yes.
Fuck! God damn it!
The C is always hard. I don't know how that's not sticking with you.
Damn it!
That's a pretty easy rule to remember, I think.
You know what? It's the elves who are wrong.
It's the elves who are wrong. You're just not speaking the Sindarin dialect. You're more familiar with American Elvish.
Yeah. It's the elves who are wrong.
That's a concept Tolkien would have hated more than almost anything else. So they've come.
So they're in the Morgul Vale.
To the Morgul Vale.
And everything was quiet last time because we know bad stuff is about to happen.
Yes, so everything's quiet. And they see the city of Minas Morgul rising. Now, for all the faults the movie has, the movie does do a pretty good job of depicting what is described in the book for the Morgul Vale. The towers of Minas Ithil, the very walls of the stone, they seem to have absorbed the moonlight. And they glow.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Why is it glowing?
I think it's magic. I mean, Tolkien would say, like he always has the elves say, like, "Oh, do your walls not glow? Is that just when elves make walls,
do you
they
not
glow?
Just get to relive Lorien whenever you want, like you were there? No, I don't do that.
No, I think it's because the men of Numenor built this, and they had access to. I think Tolkien would probably call it craft that has been lost, but basically it's magic. I think it is somehow absorbing the moonlight and emitting it back out.
So someday we might eventually figure out how to do that, because we supposedly cracked the code on Roman concrete this year.
Yeah.
It took us, a little bit, 2025, but we got there.
Yeah, but
someday we'll have glowing cities.
Our cities kind of already glow. It's just expensive.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it were. Let's just make a building that just absorbs moonlight instead of let's run electricity through.
They come to.
Oh, but that sounds like some Green New Steel stuff. Using moonlight instead of God-given diesel-powered streetlights. Anyway, they get to a bridge, Ben.
Yes. And I'm glad we got there, too.
Frodo's like, you know what? I think this is where I live now, on this bridge.
They see these statues. Frodo is kind of entranced by the city of Minas Morgul, and the landscape, though, it's kind of like something out of like a Lovecraftian dream.
Yeah, I was
some like Dark Souls stuff where everything's just kind of.
How close to the city are they?
I would say within like 50 yards, maybe. They seem fairly close.
Yeah, they seem. I thought so too. I just wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah, so there's all these flowers. They're pale white and they're glowing as well, but
what does it mean?
They're shaped oddly, non-Euclidean geometries. And
the Witch King is wearing some sort of tiara, but it fits different than a normal head. What could it mean?
He's a fish person. And Frodo, as he's crossing this bridge, he's having another one of these spells that seem to be happening to him more and more frequently, where his thoughts are muddled, his vision darkens, and it's as if some force were at work other than his own will. He began hurrying, tottering forward, his groping hands held out, his head lolling from side to side. And he's being pulled into Minas Morgul by the sheer force of the evil there. I think it's calling to the ring, and the ring is sort of taking control for a moment.
Not cool.
Not cool. Consent is key.
Yeah.
And he feels now that as Gollum and Sam literally pull him away from the gates of Minas Morgul, he feels the weight of the ring almost pulling in that direction. And
then someone's like, it can't get any worse than this. Am I right, guys?
And then his vision goes like utterly black. And they manage to like scrabble off to the side of the road, and they're walking slowly towards the path that Gollum is showing them. There's a line here, and I don't know how seriously to take it. They could hardly see Gollum in front of them, except when he turned back to beckon them on. Then his eyes shone with a green-white light, reflecting the noisome Morgul sheen, perhaps, or kindled by some answering mood within. So Gollum's starting to look a little evil now. I don't know if we're to take this to mean that his eyes are actually glowing with their own light, but...
Not my buddy Gollum.
Yeah,
he would never betray
in
us.
The movie, Frodo's looking at Gollum like, is it just me, or is Gollum looking more like a vampire than he did last night? and wait, Sam, are those crumbs on your jacket?
You bastard. Go home, Sam. Go home? How? How do I go home?
That's all the food we had. You're the one who keeps talking about how you don't want food. They keep going, and it's almost like the air itself is exhausting. It's poisoning Frodo. He's finally becoming incredibly fatigued.
Because of the ring or because of his Wraithblade stab wound?
Now that's an interesting question. I think it's probably a combination of the two. I definitely think the Witch King has a good amount of power over Frodo from that stab wound, but obviously the ring is at play here from the way it's being described. I'm guessing it's the ring that is blinding him and everything, and it's the proximity to the Witch King that might be weakening him. But when Frodo wants to rest, I think he blames it on the ring. He says, "I must rest a while, Sam. It is heavy on me, Sam, my lad. Very heavy." Is that crumbs on your fucking jacket? No. I wonder how far I can carry it. And Gollum, I'm not going to let that go. That is, I have to say, of all the changes Peter Jackson made, I think that is the one change that J.R.R. Tolkien would have just slapped him over. Is Sam casting, or Frodo casting Sam aside. I think that is really inappropriate. But, so Gollum is, he's not having any of this. He's like, "Get up, Frodo. We can't rest here. You're in the middle of nowhere, and every bad thing is right across the street. We got to get up, and we got to get out, and we got to not be here any longer."
But what are the odds that the gates will even open and bad things will come out? Am I right, fellas?
So Frodo begrudgingly, Sam even agrees with Gollum. I think that's what finally gets Frodo moving. Sam's like,
yeah.
Sam's like, "You know what, Mr. Frodo? I think Gollum's right." And Frodo's eyes are kind of like, "Holy shit. Yeah, we better go." And
you think Gollum is right? And
yeah.
are those crumbs on your fucking jacket?
So he says, "All right, I'll try." And he gets shakily to his feet. But it was too late at that moment. The rock quivered and trembled beneath them. The great rumbling noise, louder than ever before, rolled in the ground and echoed in the mountains. Then, with searing suddenness, there came a great red flash. Far beyond the eastern mountains, it leapt into the sky and splashed the lowering clouds with crimson. In that valley of shadow and cold, deathly light, it seemed unbearably violent and fierce. And then Minas Morgul answered. There was a flare of livid lightnings, forks of blue flames springing up from the tower. And it's all hell breaks loose, literally. There's just flames shooting into the sky from the fortresses of Mordor, signaling some new evil. Mingled with the groaning of the earth were the harsh voices of birds of prey, the shrill neighing of horses with wild rage and fear. And there came a rending screech, shivering, rising swiftly to a piercing pitch beyond the range of hearing. That's canonical. The ring wraiths can operate on frequencies humans can't hear, which is why we need to use our recorders to check for EVPs.
Oh,
so
okay, that's the canonical reason for that.
And the hobbits wheeled around to see what was about to kill them, and they threw themselves on the ground. Out of the gates poured small black figures in rank upon rank, marching swiftly and silently, passing outwards in an endless stream. Before them went a great cavalry of horsemen, moving like ordered shadows, and at their head was one greater than all the rest, a rider, all black, save that on his hooded head he had a helm like a crown that flickered with perilous light. And Frodo can figure out pretty quickly that, yep, that's the guy that stabbed me. I remember him.
Yep, that's the guy who stabbed me. Direct quote from the text.
And Gollum's like, holy shit, really? and Frodo, I would like to imagine at that point, Frodo's like, well, I stabbed him too, in the foot.
Not in the movie adaptation, he didn't.
No. In the movie adaptation, he just kind of whine cried, put it out, you fools.
And then he went unconscious while Arwen did all the heavy lifting.
Aragorn threw a torch. It's funny. He has a feeling that he should put on the ring to hide. But even Frodo, as far gone as he is, knows that if he puts the ring on right now... Well, actually, I'm going to read this because it implies some interesting...
Yeah, I thought this was interesting as well.
Yeah, so he felt more urgent than ever before the command that he should put on the ring. But great as the pressure was, he felt no inclination now to yield to it. He knew that the ring would only betray him, and that he had not, even if he put it on, the power to face the Morgul king. Not yet. And that's another thing I would say the movie changes. Maybe in an effort to not complicate an already difficult issue of what exactly it is the ring does. But Frodo's corruption is not taking the form of him just like slowly turning into a walking zombie that needs to be carried up Mount Doom. It's that he might actually be able to dominate people. This is the second time he's mentioned it in this particular small book. He first mentioned he would put on the ring and dominate Smeagol, and now he's thinking, I can't use it on the Witch King, not yet anyway, but maybe given time I could. And I think Frodo's thinking of that as, as a last resort to get out of here. I could put on the ring. I could order him to, you stay where you are and run away. But really, he's rationalizing using the ring more and more often. And I think that's the subtle corruption.
Even Gandalf was happy that the ring wasn't within his reach, because he also was thinking about using it.
Yeah. When push comes to shove, you're going to be able to justify using that, and because I've said this since the beginning that why is Mount Doom unguarded? There's all these like plot holes and stuff. They're not plot holes because Sauron didn't think anyone would ever try to destroy the ring, and ultimately he was right. No one ever did try to destroy the ring. They tried right up until the point where they really had to do it, and then they stopped trying.
He got as close as you could get.
And Frodo only got that close because, of his own personal integrity. And also hobbits are just naturally content, unambitious. They don't want a lot.
I think I'd be content if I just got like my own plot of land and a house, and I lived for a few hundred years. And
well, they don't live for a few
chill
hundred
out.
Years.
How long do they live?
100 is about the average. Is about the life.
Really? Because I thought 50 was like.
It is 30. They're considered an adult at 30.
What?
I think the hobbits are considered an adult at 30, and I think the thing that's different from humans is hobbits I think just have a great health span. They make it to 100 and they're really good, and then they just drop dead. I don't know that there's like a slow, painful decline. Tolkien didn't get into that.
Well, let's ask the Tolkien estate. Is there a long, slow, painful decline in older hobbits?
What's the dementia rate of older hobbits? Yeah. And they all smoke. Imagine if they didn't. Maybe they could live hundreds of years. But yeah.
Maybe that's the secret.
Now this is a little bit of foreshadowing in case you forgot the gifts Galadriel had given to Frodo. As Frodo's searching for strength to resist the Witch King, who seems to have halted his armies now and is sniffing the air around him as if maybe he senses the proximity of the ring or the old wound he inflicted on that hobbit. Frodo's like, I need strength. I can't put on the ring. I can't do this. And so he unconsciously grabs the phial of Galadriel, the bottled light of their brightest star that she gave him. And as he touched it, for a while all thought of the ring was banished from his mind. He sighed and bent his head.
And then the Witch King heard that sigh, looked in his direction, saw some crumbs just hanging out in the grass, and he's like, the hell are those? Wait a minute.
You don't do that to a bro. And then he killed Sam.
You don't do that to a bro.
You don't eat another bro's Pop-Tarts, Like, yeah, at that moment, the Wraith King turned and spurred his horse and rode across the bridge, and all his dark host followed him. Maybe the elven hoods defied his unseen eyes, and the mind of his small enemy, being strengthened, had turned aside his thought. But he was in haste. Already the hour had struck, and at his great master's bidding, he must march with war into the west.
Yeah, none of the orcs wanted to say anything, but they were like, man, we're going to be late. Why are we just sitting here? Go across the bridge already. Come on.
Well, and I like the implication, too, that he's searching in the realm of thought, the realm of spirit for Frodo. And Frodo has to strengthen his own mind, his own spirit, to turn those searching thoughts aside. Otherwise, in weakness, he might call out to them or something. That's another little bit of the light magic system at work. And so Frodo watches the army go. And he has another thought that I think would have been interesting if they had added to the movie, is that this army is going to Osgiliath, where Faramir was going. And it occurs to Frodo at this point, seeing this army march out, knowing that the battle is going to happen any day now. He's too late.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too late. Even if he destroys the ring now, who's going to be left to celebrate? This army is going to get there before he can get to Mount Doom, and they're going to kill everybody. And that's a valid thing to think, and the weight of it just sort of like, it literally brings him to tears. And eventually the gates close, and Frodo has kind of like passed out. Sam wakes him up, tells him he better get going. And Frodo rallies his strength one more time, even smiles grimly like a man marching to his death, that he's going to do what he had to do. And even if nobody is around to know he did it, he's going to do what he swore to do. So they begin climbing the stairs of what's it called?
Cirith Ungol.
There you go.
Nailed it.
The stairs are more... stairs is a generous term for what these are. It's more a series of hand and footholds carved into the rock, angled more like a ladder than a proper staircase. And they're kind of having to climb. They're climbing up, hundreds of feet of sheer rocky mountain wall. And then they get to a ledge, and Gollum's like, "Good news, hobbits. That's the first stair over." And
the next one's a spiral.
Yeah, the next one, that's where it really gets tough. Actually, the next one's not so bad, but the one after that's the one that really separates the men from the boys. Yeah, they say, there's another stair still, much longer. Rest when we get to the top of the next stair. Not
Welcome
yet.
To another episode of Middle Earth Ninja Warrior.
And so Sam asks, "So what comes after the stairs, Gollum?" "Oh, you'll see. We'll all see what comes next, Sam." And Sam's
basically
Sam's
what
like,
he says. Yeah.
Why'd you say it all weird and ominous like that, Smeagol? Just tell me what comes next. He's like, "Don't worry. You'll know it. You'll know when you see her. You'll know what comes next. You fat piece of shit." And they go on for miles and miles in the dark. And Sam, like, it's just a brutal journey. A lot of the chapter is describing the sheer misery and physical effort they have to put forth to do this. And in case you were imagining like Gatorade or something, they don't even have water. They haven't been able to fill up on water for a long time. They've got
like a mouthful apiece.
Yeah.
Just enough to make it lubricate the old whatever you want to call it. I don't have something.
When those orcs catch me, I want to be able to scream. And Sam wonders when they'll ever find water again.
Sam, quit pretending that we're going to be able to walk out of this. Why are you doing this?
Well, he says, "Orcs drink, don't they?" And Frodo says, "Yes, they drink, but do not let us speak of that. Such drink is not for us." Then all the more need to fill our bottles, Sam said, "but there isn't any water up here." Faramir did warn them not to drink any water flowing out of Imlad Morgul. They're not in that valley, and if they came on a spring, they could try it. And Sam says, "I don't know if I'd trust any water you find here. There's something in the air, a smell I don't like. Like a spider isn't large enough normally for a human to smell them. But I feel like if one were so large, this is what it might smell like. You know? Thank God that's impossible."
Yeah, I'm terrified of spiders.
And this is when Sam, they're kind of talking about how screwed they are and how miserable this is. And this is when Sam drops the speech that is adapted into the finale speech of the Two Towers movie. And I'll go ahead and read it so you can you can know the difference. Well, and I'm also going to read the lead up to it. It's not Frodo saying, "Sam, I don't think I can do this," which is what he says in the movie. Frodo says, "I don't like anything here at all. Step or stone, breath or bone, earth, air, and water all seem accursed, but so our path is laid. Yes, and that's so. And we shouldn't be here at all if we'd known more about it before we started. But I suppose it's often that way. The brave things in the old tales and songs, Mr. Frodo, adventures as I used to call them. I used to think that they were things the wonderful folk of the stories went out and looked for because they wanted them, because they were exciting and life was a bit dull, a kind of sport, as you might say. But that's not the way of it with the tales that really mattered, or the ones that stay in the mind. Folk seem to have been just landed in them usually. Their paths were laid that way, as you put it. But I expect they had lots of chances, like us, of turning back. Only they didn't, Mr. Frodo. And if they had, we shouldn't know because they'd have been forgotten. We hear about those as just went on, and not all to a good end, mind you. At least, not to what folk inside a story and not outside it call a good end. You know, coming home and finding things all right, though not quite the same like old Mr. Bilbo. But those aren't always the best tales to hear, though they may be the best tales to get landed in. I wonder what sort of tale we've fallen into. A meta conversation then proceeds about the fact that this is a story that they're in and they don't know how it's going to end, and is it going to be a good story or a bad story.
And of course it ends with, "Are those crumbs on your fucking jacket, Sam?"
What it doesn't end with is the line, "There's some good in this world, Frodo, and there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for." That's the line from the movie.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of the stakes, Sam. I'm here literally right outside the gate to hell, and I just need a little pick-me-up.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really think that's what Tolkien was trying to say. And that's where I think Peter Jackson gets it wrong. And that's why I say, if an adaptation is meant to convey the meaning of the original, you're tweaking it a bit. You're making it a more modern, utilitarian, morally relativistic thing, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with like that way of seeing the world. But Tolkien was like a moral absolutist. There is good, there is evil, there is right, there is wrong. They are not relative to your circumstances. It is never okay to do the evil thing. It is never not.
What if I needed to steal bread to feed my family from the Amazon CEO?
I don't know if theft is one of like those high morals.
He's got a whole warehouse full of bread. He's not even using it. He's just throwing it into a pit.
Is it ever all right to... would it be all right to dominate the mind of Jeff Bezos and force him to give away all the bread? Would it be...
How good will it make me feel?
Would it be all right to rob another human being of his sovereignty? It's Shy standing up to tell me that it is right, and that's fine.
They have more than they need.
That's fine. That like I'm not here to have that philosophical debate. That is very like philosophy 101 stuff, and there are points on both sides, and I know that. Tolkien would say that it is evil. I think this is a more like easily agreed upon thing. It is evil to rob someone of consent. And you're never going to be able to achieve good by evil means.
Okay, now when you say consent, all right. Instead of dominating him, what if I'm like, I'm going to blow you up unless you give the bread away? Hey, you got the option to say no.
I think Tolkien would actually think that's maybe more moral.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Good, honest force, I guess.
Good, honest force.
Well, I mean, ultimately, that's what we're doing here. That's why we're fighting back, right? Is we're going to point a sword at these guys and say, give up, or we kill you. Like, stop doing what you're doing, or I kill you. And they're going to be like, okay.
Game on.
So I think he views it as like, that could be self-defense in a way. But actually going in and it's murky. I mean, there's all kinds of, you can definitely point all kinds of problems.
Yeah, in the great philosophical movie, Bruce Almighty, starring Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman, one of the, I believe, 2 rules of being God is that you can't take away free will then.
Yeah.
The other is you can't tell anyone that you're God.
Yeah, that makes sense. Those are the 2 rules. Yeah. God didn't follow them, but sure.
That's only when you're.
He hardly ever shows up without saying he's God. What are you talking about?
that's only for that. Those rules are only for substitute God. To
I was going to say, like, literally every time that guy enters a room, he's like, "I am the Lord your God." No. But yeah, it's. I don't think they're necessarily fighting to preserve the good that's in the world, according to Tolkien. Even if their fight was doomed and would not preserve anything at all, they should still fight because it's the right thing to do. It's not right because it works. It's right because it's right.
Mr. Frodo, how about instead of throwing the ring into the fire, if you do that, that means Jeff Bezos gets away with it. Let's take the ring.
There's one of Tolkien's letters where somebody asks him his favorite question: is the ring an allegory for the atomic bomb? And he says,
yes, you win.
He says, no, it is not an allegory for the atomic bomb. And if it were, then the free peoples of Middle Earth would almost certainly have taken the ring and used it on Sauron. Because that's what we did with the atomic bomb. And I think when you put it that way, like it's really easy to poke holes in Tolkien's, hyper Catholic argument. If you don't believe, like, Tolkien believes God literally hands down these rules. They come from a higher authority, and that's why they're good. And that's easy to poke holes in if you don't believe in his God. But something he says, like the thing about the atomic bomb, does kind of ring true. Is like, that didn't feel good, using the atomic bomb. I don't think anybody looks back at that and is like, there are people, I guess, that look back on that and are cheering.
I was going to say.
I'm not. That part rings true to me. Even I don't necessarily go along for all of Tolkien's like moral, absolute, divine, right type stuff, but there is something about like winning a war certain ways is not good. Like a genocide is not good. You could rationalize a genocide as a way to stop a defeated population from ever coming back and causing you problems again.
Well, Aragorn, he did one of those.
He didn't. I think it was I think Gary Gygax,
oh God,
charming guy that he was, considered the genocide of a defeated population lawful on the D&D alignment.
What?
Yeah, he was
what?
He had some interesting ideas about morality, Gary Gygax. And he considered slavery chaotic. And he considered slavery a chaotic good option and genocide a lawful good option.
I'm sorry? Good?
Yeah.
You're not chaotic and lawful evil?
No.
Gary Gygax might be a big piece of shit.
Gary Gygax, look up some of the stuff he said about women. He's like a Andrew Tate level incel. As much as I like D&D, Gary Gygax was a real piece of shit. But I've completely lost track of where I'm going. Anyway, that's the complicated conversation I think Peter Jackson denied us. Because I think in a less religious 1999, when he was filming this, Tolkien's brand of morality is not popular, but aspects of it still ring true. Like, obviously, I think a genocide is never acceptable, no matter how you would justify it. Slavery is never acceptable, no matter how you would justify it.
And I certainly wouldn't have put them as good.
No.
On the morality wheel.
No. But there are other things. Like, I don't think, the Geneva Convention type stuff. There are kinds of warfare that we think are unacceptable simply because they're just evil. And that no good can come of them. There's no good that's going to come of like nerve gassing people. You can't win a war that way and have peace.
Torture is a lawful good behavior. That's neat.
Oh, are you looking it up?
Yeah. Gary Gygax, I don't know what he looks like. I don't know much about him.
He looks like what you think he'd look like.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I bet he was never in the armed forces and had no first-hand experience of any of this stuff.
He was a big fan of Prussian tabletop war simulation. And that's what D&D came from.
Yeah, that checks out, because I have some of those games. They suck.
Yeah.
They're garbage.
Yeah. No, so yeah, maybe a bonus episode is the morality of Gary Gygax. But yeah, that's a toughie. When they sold D&D to Hasbro, I was not super upset. A lot of people were, but not me. But yeah, so that's where the speech differs. I think we've made too much about this now, and I think we need to move on.
All right. I think we're pretty much at the end of the chapter, right? He gives that speech, and then they come to a good old cave, a tunnel into Mordor. Oh, and they're like, hey, Gollum. Oh, wait, no, first, Frodo takes a nap. Sam takes a nap. Then Gollum goes over and he gingerly touches Frodo's knee, and his appearance seems to soften, Ben. He doesn't have glowing green evil monster eyes. And for a moment, I think it said if one of those watchers in the towers were to have seen them, they would have just thought it was like three hobbits. One of them's just really, really old.
Yeah. Well, they also debate Frodo and Sam sort of what's going on in Smeagol's head.
Yeah, he keeps sneaking off. What's he doing? You can't even forage for food up here. There's no food up here.
Sam says that the whole time they've been with Smeagol, his only plan has been the precious for poor Smeagol. It's all about getting the precious back for Smeagol. And bringing us up here will help him in that. He's like, how bringing us up here is going to help him get that, I have no idea. But he's brought us up here, I suspect, for that reason. And Frodo says, very likely he can't guess himself. And I don't think he's got just one plain scheme in his muddled head. I think he really is, in part, trying to save the precious from the enemy as long as he can. For that would be the last disaster for himself, too, if the enemy got it. And in the other part, perhaps, he's just biding his time and waiting on the chance. And Frodo's pretty close to the mark there. It's pretty far from the Smeagol promised.
Mhm. I forgot
Smeagol
he
lied.
did I can't believe that Smeagol would lie to us.
Yeah, no, Frodo's like, he's been lying the whole time. I think Frodo says the only thing I believe is that he really is trying to keep the ring from Sauron. And ultimately, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what he swore to do. And he does not break that oath.
Yeah, he wants the ring for himself. That's not Sauron. Checkmate.
Yeah. And that's when they see the Orc Tower, and if anybody looking from that tower would see them, they would have just seen 3 hobbits.
Having a bro moment.
And they're all, and we're wondering, Smeagol, how are we going to walk past that watchtower? It's a watchtower. It's got one job. It's to watch.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Smeagol's like, no, I got an idea. Cave. There's a cave.
Don't worry
here.
about it.
And this cave goes right around to that watchtower.
Yeah.
And we're going to take the cave way. The Smeagol way.
Yeah.
What's in the cave, Smeagol? You'll see. You'll see.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about what's in the cave.
There's
You'll
so
see.
many things.
There's a lot of things in a lot of caves
that you can worry about. And, like, this cave is just one of them. Don't worry about it.
And that's true. There are a lot of things to worry about, and this cave is one of them.
And Sam, are those crumbs on your fucking jacket?
Yeah, so join us next time on Talking About Tolkien, where we'll have more fun Gary Gygax facts for you.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.